Hi and welcome to Delray Plants tutorial series on how to care for your plants. Foliage plants are the easiest way to clean the air in your home in addition to adding color into the interior scape. Delray Plants has been dedicated to growing the finest foliage for over 40 years, and we're going to help guide you through taking care of your plants when you bring them home.
Hi, and welcome to Delray Plants Contain Yourself Monthly Container Garden Series, where we help teach you the PDS of container gardening. P for plant knowledge, D for design element, and S for solution to your container garden problems. Well, the plants that we've picked as the P part of our container garden today are beautiful tropical plants that you can incorporate into your home. We picked anthuriums, Dieffenbachia, which is tropical rain, and Photonia. Now, we've chosen all of these plants because they take the same lighting. They can handle low light, they can handle shade. So if they're on your porch, they can handle the shade of your porch. If they're inside next to a window, they can handle that low light. I call them the 007 of the plant world because they can hang out in the shadows of your home and clean up your home for you. So the other reason that we've chosen this grouping is that they take the same amount of water. They're a moderate water plant. Now, one of the issues that people often have when they're creating their container garden is that they overwater. Do not water until you can stick your finger in and it is dry. If it is still damp, wait. That is often how most people kill their container garden. Now, the design elements we're going to talk about today is that we're going to plant these plants at an angle. We're going to make a container garden that fits in a corner. It is not a container garden for the back. It's to be viewed from the front. It will be flat to the back, so you can stick it in that corner of your porch up against the wall in your home, and it's made to be designed that way. Also, we're working with only one color, so we've chosen red, which is the complementary color to green. The other issue that we have, the S for solving our container garden issue, is that often the inside plants are tropical plants and they're plants that like high humidity. Well, what do you do if you live in a low humidity area? No problem, we have the solution for you. If you put your plant container outside, just keep a little spray bottle by it, and as you walk by every morning, give it a little spritz, or as you come in with your paper or you're going out to feed the dog, you can just spray your plants. But what if you put your container garden inside? You don't want to be spraying all over your furniture. Well, we have a great solution for that. If you will purchase a saucer that is larger than the saucer that catches the extra water, put your extra water saucer inside and put rocks along the edges. Then what you're going to do is fill the extra reservoir just halfway up the rocks. Take your container garden that you've created, and looky here, I have a sample, a little bit of a variation on what we're going to create, and put it right on top of that saucer that catches the extra. And as this water evaporates around it in the extra reservoir, it will provide all the humidity that your plant needs. Now take a good look at this one because we have made a variation here. We've used ivy instead of Photonia. So if you like, you can make a little variation on what we're showing you. So let me put this one back down. And I'll put our wonderful, I love this little solution. I love the design element to it. It's earth and it's all the beautiful plants. I'll just slide him right off to the side, and let's get started with our plants. I've chosen a circular low bowl because I'm going to put this on a table, but you can choose any pot. This is roughly a 12 to 14 inch pot. You can use square, pedestal, whatever you like. Now, before you start, you want to make sure that you have a hole in your pot for drainage, and that your soil, you want to put it on the bottom and all along the sides, kind of like making a pie, because you want to give your plant all the nutrients it needs by putting the soil up on the side. Now, I'm going to begin with my Dieffenbachia here, and I'm going to take it out, and I have kind of worked the roots already, and I'm going to put it to the back of my container. Remember, we're going to make this flush. We're also going to work with the design element of planting these at an angle. We're not going to sit them straight up. We kind of want them to fan behind our anthurium. So we're going to sit it in here, and I will say that I'm going to start with it, but I'm going to have to work with it as I fill the pot in order to get it in the position that I like. Okay, let me get a little bit of soil here to give it a little bit more stability. I'm going to pack this container real tight from the start. Sometimes when you make a container, you make it knowing that your plants are going to grow into your container, and at other times you pack it really tight. And this is a container that I wanted to have looking really tight from the start. And remember to look at your plants. Decide which one you think is going to view best from the front. And I like it right like that. So I'm going to stick him in here, putting it at my angle. Now remember, if you can't afford Hawaii, bring a little Hawaii home with you. Go to your home improvement store and pick up these beautiful tropical plants. You know, every good 007 agent did a tropical movie, did they not? So you might want to put these little containers in every corner of your home. Now the next plant I have here is an anthurium. And I have also worked this one, so I've gotten it down to the roots because once again I'm packing this container really tight, and so I have to remove the excess soil and I'll put it back in as I plant it up. Now I have chosen this red because it is the complementary color to green. You can also think of this as that hot lady in every one of those 007 movies. And we're going to stick her right in the middle, as every good woman wants to be the center of attention. So let's stick lots of good soil around here. And that little relational tip was free. So bring a little more soil around here. All right, we're going to pack it up tight. And you can move those tropical rain around once we get the whole container filled up. All right, sitting those at an angle. Okay, now if you choose that a different anthuriums come in all kinds of colors. They come in pink to burgundy. They even have some variegated colors. All right, the next plant that I'm going to put in my pot here is called Fittonia. And I love this little plant because it comes with a lot of texture. It makes a nice little ruffle around the edge of your container. It brings lots of good class. I always think of this as kind of a classy little plant. So I'm going to pull these right out of the pot. All right, put my little pot. Now I'm not planting these in here straight either. I'm making sure that they have soil underneath them and up against the edge of that pot, but I'm actually putting them at a considerable angle so that they're not sitting like this. They're laying over in front of my container so you can see them really beautifully. Okay. Now remember that your plants, they always come with their own color, their own texture. All you have to do is put them together to suit you. It's kind of like painting by numbers. Everything comes already done, you just put it together. All right, so once again, I'm putting all these Fittonia real tight next to each other. They're going to come along. I'm going to put some soil. I've got soil under them and up against the pot. Now, I'm going to look at the front of my plant, and I want to pull this up a little bit and push that back, and I'm going to do that by adding my soil all around here. Don't be afraid to move those plants around to suit you. This is your container garden. And don't forget, if you have any questions, you can like us on Facebook. We're Delray Plants. You can give us, we have lots of good advice on Facebook. You can post your pictures. If you create this container garden, we'd love to see. Everybody's is so different. You might make one in Minnesota and she might make one in Georgia, and everybody puts just a little bit of a different twist on it. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of soil to the back. I'm going to sit those a little more at an angle. Now, one of the things I was going to say too is as you put them in here, look at your anthuriums and decide what you think is the best front. I have a little trick. If you ever feel like you have an empty space there and you want to make it thicker, go find the same plant in a little bit smaller size. And if you wanted to, you could plant that right in there and fill in that little spot. Now I know that this is going to grow in beautifully. These plants put out beautiful leaves. They're going to grow in really beautifully. So there you have it. There you have your 007 container garden. You might want one of these in every corner of your home. They take out that bad air. They put in that fresh air. I know we'd all love Daniel Craig or Sean Connery, but here you have it, your 007. And thanks for joining us. Remember to search for other great plant advice here on our Delray Plants YouTube channel.